Hey, BassGeek here. I have got a cheat code that I've been using for years to catch winter all the way into spring bass, and you can load your boat fast, and it's not forward-facing sonar. That's right, geeks. This is a great little cheat code. I call it the poor man's floating fly because you don't need a 10-foot rod or, all this crazy stuff to really use the floating fly the way it was traditionally done. It's something that I've done for years, but I've gotten away from it because now I like to just do this. It makes it real simple, makes it real easy. The floating fly, to me, progressed into this, and we call it tightlining. It actually progressed into one of the first ways to use a ball head or jig head minnow, and this is without forward-facing sonar. So one of the first things we did is we actually used, when we were tightlining, we used the hair jigs, the floating fly hair jigs, to tightline. And that's what I'm going to show you today, but with a fabulous new hair jig that you're not going to believe. Big Daddy's Tackle has came out with a new jig, a new hair fly or hair jig. What I really like about it is he's brought it out in several colors. Now, we've been using these for a while. I don't even know if these are in the right things. I do believe this one is right. This is called Bumblebee. And again, these could be in the completely wrong packet. This is called Ratchet, but it's a really chartreuse color. And I think this one is called the Devastator. And this, I believe, is just called Shad. This is the color that we've been catching them on today. Now, what I really like about these, and what you're going to see in the underwater footage, is how well these hold their shad form. A lot of hair jigs, what'll end up happening is they'll flatten out, and you'll just get some tail wiggle. Well, they've bulked up the body, so it's got a great shad profile right here on the body. This tail has some incredible action in the water, but one thing that I do when it's this time of year is I do cut that tail down. Now, as we get warmer into the spring, I want these full tail because I want that sort of rolling action. Love the eyes on it. It is tungsten, so it is going to be very visible for you guys like me that like to use forward-facing sonar. But like I said, today, you don't have to use forward-facing sonar to do this. This is a little technique that we've called tightlining for a long time, and it's pretty simple. All right, let me show you how to tie this on, and then we'll talk about how to use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie a non-slip loop knot. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to tie an overhand knot. There we go. We're going to pull that down to about the size of a dime, a little bit smaller maybe. And then we're just going to pull it up to our eyelet, wrap that tag in about 4 to 6 times. We'll bring it through both loops right there. And then we pull the tag in down. Wet it just a little bit as we get ready to cinch it up. And we tighten it up. Now you go ahead, cut your tag in, and you're ready to go. Hey geeks, you planning a fishing trip? Well, I've got an app for you. This little app called the Deep Dive app will help you know what the weather's going to be like, where the wind's going to be blowing, what the barometric pressure is going to be. It'll even tell you if the lake has been stable, rising, or falling. As a matter of fact, for some of you guys who maybe don't have an idea, you're going to a new lake, of what it is you need to be throwing on that lake, it shows you tournament winning patterns and what baits you can throw where in that lake to catch you some bass. Make sure you click on the very first link down in the description for your free trial for the Deep Dive app. All right, geeks, let's real quick talk about rod, reel, and line. This is a Douglas Matrix. Man, they are going to send me something that I'm crazy excited about, and for a price that I'm sure you geeks are going to love. So I cannot wait to unveil those rods to you. This, again, is a Matrix. This is their higher end offering, and it is very nice. I love the colors. The guides are incredible. The rod itself is top notch. This is a 7-foot medium fast action rod. It can handle some pretty cool weights. Very, very sensitive. Great rod, like I said. Now, I've got this coupled with a Daiwa Fuego. Great reel. Just picked me up some of these. Great price on them. And this is the 3000 series. And of course, always using that K9 high vis braid to that K9 Pro 100. 100% fluorocarbon. Check it out. I got a 10% discount for that fluorocarbon right here. Links to everything, again, will be in the description. So tightlining really is pretty simple, and if you geeks have watched my videos over the past few years, you'll understand I talk about doing this a lot. It's a great way to cover a couple of the key points, key structure, key banks, and we're sitting on one of those banks right now, those 45-degree bank, chunk rock, you know, maybe a bank and work it across the top of some brush or some laydowns. Great areas to use a tightline, especially a hair jig. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to make a cast out there. Again, I like to keep my boat at about 45. If I'm fishing a bluff, I'll keep it in a little bit tighter, but I still want to do that simply because I'm trying to figure out how deep the bass are. So I'll be 45, but it'll be a pretty hard 45. I'll keep the boat out quite a bit until I get dialed in to the depth that I'm getting my bites. Once I get that dialed in, then I'll get in tight and I'll stay in that depth. With this bait, it's just like anything. You're tying a loop knot. You're going to be able to throw it out there and shake it. Shake it nice and easy. Don't impart too much action into it, especially in the cold water. So you're just going to barely shake it and you're going to let it pendulum down that bank. Now, you want to be touching bottom every once in a while. If you're not touching bottom every once in a while, you're reeling a little too fast, or maybe you've got too light of a weight. If you're on the bottom constantly, you're probably reeling a little too slow, or you got a little bit too heavy of a weight for what you're fishing. So make sure you change that up. Hook set is always, it's going to be, 45, you're just leaning into them, or you're just coming straight up. Get them away from the rock, get them away from the brush, get them away from the bank, and then wear them out. Again, take your time with them. Get them to the bank. Even though they're cold, these smallmouth can be really pissy, okay? They can be pissy. Keep that rod tip down. Play him out. Look, I'm not rushing this fish. I'm keeping him low. It's fine. He can dig all he wants. When they get to the top, I like to pull them. He's still, like I said, these smallmouth, they pissy. So get them over here, get a net if you got a buddy, or just take your time with them. Don't force them to the surface, and reach down and grab them once you got them tired out. Come on. Let me get my thumb on you. There you go. Solid little bass. On the Big Daddy Spotliner. Tightlining, boys and girls. Look here. Look at that. I mean, had him. Had him. There you go. Nice little smallmouth. Probably pushing 2, 2.25. Good and fat, good and cold. Let's get him back in the water. Big Daddy Spotlighter. That's how you do it. Geeks, I'm telling you, this little hair jig is a great way to load the boat. And even back in some of the creeks, we've already seen some dead shad back in here. So this little hair jig is the perfect size for what we've been seeing. So again, we'll have links in the description. Make sure you bookmark that. Make sure you go to Tackle Warehouse, Big Daddy Baits, and pick you some up. Like I said, links in the description. Now, if you want to learn a little bit about fishing some jig heads, a lot of different jig heads without forward-facing sonar, so you can go out and compete with those guys during the late winter and early spring, make sure you go check out this video right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you join the 100% Watch Squad, and you geeks rock.